This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing. Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
And welcome back to Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. I'm Ryan Carter with my man John King here. Welcome back to another episode. And as always, we are brought to you by our friends at Pilot Games. Make sure when you're out having a good time. And it does feel good, Kinger, because it was tough to find a W anywhere around Minnesota the last couple of weeks, but things have started to turn around. So it's maybe getting back to, we're hoping, Minnesota. But if you're out watching a game, grab one of their tablets, play their games. You can win a little dough, change the trajectory of your day, have a good time. And not only can you win, but your community wins when you play at Pilot Games. Thanks for the support, Kinger. I know that it was tough on you for a bit there. You know, the Wild were, I think at one point, 5-3. They had won like one game in 9. It wasn't looking pretty. The Gopher football, I know you're a big PJ Fleck fan, and they went down and barely got a first down in Iowa, but now all of a sudden they bounced back and beat Michigan State. And then the Vikings. We watched the Vikings, and boom, they go to Detroit and beat the Motor City Kitties. So how are you feeling at the moment?
Well, Karts, you know, I swung through a drive-through of a coffee shop, and I tried to order a mellow and vanilla. And they said, sorry, that's not on the menu. That was just for October. Now it's
that's the pumpkin spice latte.
It's Govember. Yeah, we got J.J. McCarthy turning the Lion's Den into the Lion's Zen. You know, meditating for 2.5 hours. Gopher football's back. PJ's crowd surfing.
Was there another video of a crowd surfing?
Yeah, there was, and also we took care of business against the Canucks on Saturday night. I was in the building. You know, I could feel it turning. We were in the lobby waiting to play. Gopher football beats Michigan State. You have that awkward thing where people are in the concourse watching a different sport complete, and everybody was just like, it's a different month. Turn the page. Let's go. And it's one victory. But yeah, it is funny. The psyche of the state of Minnesota is in a much improved condition over the last 36 hours. That was a rugged ride. I got this whisker ticker thing going where I'm only shaving. I'm not shaving if we get a point in the standings. And man, I've been shaving all the time, and I don't like it. I'm like at the health club. I'm using kind of old razors. I'm getting nicked up. But I'm happy to report that I got a couple days stubble, and hopefully if we can do well against Nashville, Carolina, maybe get a little beard going here, get some mojo.
Yeah, it felt like the Wild's game was trending in the right direction. And Hines talked about, and on a couple of occasions, that when a team isn't playing well and they're losing games and their game has not probably looked as though it should, that it starts to turn a corner, but you don't get the results the moment you turn the corner. And I think he felt that was the way with the Wild. I think there were times where he liked his game against Winnipeg, where he liked it against Pittsburgh, but not enough of it. And I think that even goes back to the San Jose game. I think the third period San Jose he liked, Winnipeg for the most part liked, and then the first period of Pittsburgh. So it was 5 good periods in a row. And then they kind of get away from it, and that's where your mellow and vanilla kind of came from. It was the second and third period of Pittsburgh where Marcus Foligno was talking about, we know what we have to be. It's hardworking, it's honest, it's straight line, it's a little more abrasive, a little more probably physical. But we get away from it, and they got away from it, and they didn't win. But at least it's promising that they're understanding, and there's another closed-door meeting, which I think we should probably talk about at some point, to try to right the ship. But it felt like this can't go on forever. They're not going to, this team's better than losing like 6-7 in a row, and finding ways to lose games. So Vancouver came in, and on paper, the Wild were the better team, and they should win. It was without Quinn Hughes, or without Connor Garland. It's a team that's struggling, and the Wild can feel, and they have run into some bad luck when it comes to goaltenders. I think in terms of goals saved above expected, they had faced like 5 of the top 10 in the NHL. Vejmelka, Demko, Jari, and I think you could go down the list. But they break through and they win a game. And what was your assessment of that game? Like, how did it look to you?
Well, it was. I went to that game just because I was like, man, at some point we gotta win.
Yeah,
here. And I know Hines took exception to the word fragile in an interview, but I would say the fan base was fragile, right? The guys got booed off the ice after the Pittsburgh game, and that was a game where I think what we've seen with this group this year is it'll just get away from them, and you can really see it when you're live in the building. So if we're moving and we're going north-south and there's tempo, I really think we're fine. Where we really get in trouble is when it turns into half-court basketball and everybody's kind of standing around. It looks like a penalty kill. That's when you're just waiting for that, for Gustafsson to look behind him because it somehow got into the net. And the Vancouver game, there was very few stretches. I think at the start of the second, they pushed a little bit for about 5 minutes where I started to go, oh, man, no, let's not Jekyll and Hyde this thing. We had the good start. Let's not have a bad second, bad third. But I think generally that game, they played well for most of it, if not all of it.
I think what you can say in that game is that they didn't beat themselves.
That's right.
And even though at times Vancouver pushed, I don't think the Wild changed. They started to for a minute. It was like 2 or 3 shifts there where it started to change a little bit, but I think they got it back on the rails. And that was probably started the second. They started the second period.
The game
opened up a little bit, and it was like, okay, like this is actually this is fun to watch, trading chances, but that's not the game that gives the Wild the best chance to win, but they did get it back on the rails, and they found a way to win. And I think it was a relieving win. Now what's important, in my opinion, is we will see the mental state of the team. Like, has the pressure mounted to where a win is just relief? Like there's desperation or urgency to get a win, and then a win is relief? Or are they going to be able to find a way to make winning the expectation? Because good teams, winning is the expectation. There isn't a huge celebration after they win. There's not a lot of relief. It's just kind of, all right, on to business now to the next day, And with this win, based on how the first 10 games had gone, this was an important win. And will they bounce back and be the team and play consistently like they did against Vancouver? And that wasn't a great opponent, but the good news is Nashville coming up, they don't frighten you that much either. So you have the ability to put 6 solid periods together and take 2 points and start to feel good about your game. But that remains to be seen a little bit. But I do think that that's the challenge. If the word fragile upsets you a little bit, then I think you have to prove that you're not by being resilient or show the game that you showed in Vancouver the next handful of games.
Yeah, we got to spool something together. I do think coming into the rink today, the guys seemed, it was loud. They're playing like small area games. I don't know what section of practice I walked by, but they were kind of hooting and hollering, and it felt joyful in the rink. It felt the volume was high. They had their Halloween party after the Saturday game. I hope that they're starting to like playing hockey and start. I think we're hearing some dog barking because they're doing a photo shoot for a calendar. So I mean, you string some of this stuff together. You have a good win against the Canucks. You got a little team bonding Halloween party. You get your day off. You're posing with some puppies for a calendar. You're having a fun practice. Nashville comes to town. But you're right. It doesn't matter if you go over and you get 0 points tomorrow night against Nashville. It's just we're right back in the mud.
And last week for me, a lot of it was about perspective too. So they have Weston come in, and he's the Make-A-Wish kid, and great story. He was a part of it, signs a contract, scores on, Gustafsson, Volstead in practice. He gets to have a good day's pulling pranks with Marc-Andre Fleury. And I think that in some ways put some perspective into the players' eyes too. You have a 10-year-old kid who's here just wanting to be with the players and in their environment, and how lucky they are to be able to play and to be in that spot. And I think the message to the team on Sunday too was, you know what, just play hockey, work hard, and have fun. Like, this is supposed to be fun. Or Saturday, I should say. It's supposed to be fun. And they won a game, and I think it was fun. Then they have a Halloween party, and it is fun. It's a reminder that it's still a game, and you should still enjoy it. And I think the energy on the ice, and I do think we have to give Hines credit here. Like, he's done a good job not panicking. He's been able to control some of the pressure by saying, it's not that bad. The game isn't that bad. We should be able to come out of this, and believing in the players. And even after the Pittsburgh loss, they came out and played small area games. He liked the energy. The morning skate, he's liked the energy, and he'll mention that. So I think he's done a good job not making it panic mode around the rink, despite the fact that guys feel the pressure. But I think perspective has changed a little bit, that it is supposed to be fun. I think the Halloween party helps.
Yeah, and even that Canucks game, if you look at it, right, Kaprizov doesn't have a point. We win 5-2, right? We're getting Tarasenko with 3. Brodin puts a couple points on the board. Ek, our guest today, Vinnie Hinostroza with a breakaway goal, right? So that's not your likely cast of characters all the time, and they put up five goals. Right?
Well, if there was a bet to be made where you said the Wild they're gonna beat Vancouver 5-2 and have a decisive win, and you're not gonna get major offensive contributions from 97, 12, 14, you'd be like, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
what are the odds of that?
Yeah, and I mean it. So that's a promising one. I think this week 4 games, right? It's another. The games are really loaded up with the Olympic break. So you go Nashville at home. You got a back-to-back Carolina, red hot. The Islanders kind of in the youth movement, and then the Flames back at home on Sunday. So we're trying to get back to 500. We talked about that, right? You got to string together 2 more 2-point wins just to do that at the moment. So I think this Nashville game is just like the Vancouver game. Can you go in there, play consistent hockey, and get your 2 points? Not 1, not none. Try to get 2.
Yeah,
and start getting rolling a little bit.
Well, yeah, they'll talk about it. The most important thing is not the week ahead; it's the game ahead. They had a 6-game homestand, and they came off a tough road trip, and it was all right. We're going to right the ship at home. This is going to be great. And now, at best, the opportunities to go 2-2-2. So I think but that's important to be able to salvage that. If all of a sudden it's 1-3-2, that's a terrible homestand.
Yes.
If you go 2-2-2, you're not great, but
trending.
Yes.
Starting to figure it out.
It seems like a big game just for that. It really does. But let's talk about some other things around the league, or I should say some other things around the rink too. So the offense has sputtered. I don't think it's been consistent. The lines have been kind of mashed up. We saw them in the Vancouver game, and it led to a goal for. Put Kaprizov, Boldy, and Eriksson Ek together. I think you can do that at home because you can control matchups. But the irony is that line went and had a good shift, and then it was Rossi, who was with Tarasenko and Johansson, goes out and scores the following shift. But I think Hines is looking for ways to create offense with the guys he has on the roster right now. You like them putting the top line or loading up that top line?
I really do. I know that everyone's trying to have this, can we have them both drive a line, 97 and 12? And you do see some things. I mean, there's some connection to the fact that Johansson has 10 points that he's playing with 97, right? There's some things happening here. But I just think you put Ek and Kaprizov and Boldy together, it is a handful. And if we can get our team playing wild hockey where we're not necessarily giving up 4 goals, and it's a race to 3, I just think you have a really good shot of getting 3 if you put those guys together. And I don't know. Now when Zuki comes back, that might change everything. You give Carril's got his blanket there, and
that's a hope.
I think
the dangerous part about everybody waiting for Zuki to come back and everything being fixed is then that requires you to be healthy and stay healthy.
Yes.
And what Zuki points out, and he does have a unique skill set, and it's one that's not easy to replace. But one injury changed things in a big way for him, and now you have to make sure that you stay healthy or find a way to stay healthy, despite the fact that you're playing like desperate, urgent hockey. They need Zuki back, and then they need to be healthy for a bit.
Yeah, because you've had Bogosian out, you've had Sturm and Zuki, right? So this face-off specialist we picked up over the summer. Bogosian's a vet, puts pucks on net, warrior, and then Zuki out. So I just like them together. I don't know. I don't think we need to be, taking a glass and trying to spread it out. Try to split the G on the Guinness and just have, both of them driving a line. It's like, no. Put those 3 guys together. No one has an answer for it. And if they're, and I do think you'll get some power play, you'll get some things happening, but I like them together. They did it the one shift and it jumped off the page on Saturday night. So even if they did kind of how Pittsburgh used to, they always had this Malkin Crosby together thing they could do when they wanted to do it. And they would just occasionally.
Yeah, it's McDavid Draisaitl.
Yeah, it's like, I think you need to, when you're chasing the game a little bit, you need to know that you've got the turbo boost, the hyper speed. And
it's like the NOS.
You need to be able to push that. Let's go ludicrous mode. Let's have 12 and 97.
You've got the NOS. You just can't be on it all the time.
I don't know. I just, let's not make this harder than it needs to be. Does Matt Boldy need to get a merit badge for driving a line in 25, 26? I don't really care.
Well, no, I agree.
It's like, let them play together and no one has any answer for it.
Yeah, I agree. But then the counter argument to that is, what happens if that line doesn't score?
Well, they're going to score.
Yeah, what happens if they don't?
Other guys need to score.
They're not going to score every night.
Other guys need to score.
Let's say you run into a great matchup team. Let's say you get Winnipeg with Adam Lowry, and that line's just getting shut down or something.
Well, our team,
That's
right?
the fear.
It is.
Is that now all of a sudden you're relying on the other guys, and that it's not their calling card. So it becomes challenging. That's why I think there's a desire to separate them so you get offensive drivers and playmakers on different lines. And it's a season of 82. It's not a season of 10. Like if it's 10 games, yeah, absolutely. Go for it, But I'm with you. I think that you can do it, but I do think it's like the nitrous. You've got it in your car. It helps you, get going, top speed, little boost, but you can't be on it all the time.
It's not an either or probably. It's a, but it's there. It's there if you need it.
Hey, I want to ask you, now you mentioned watching one eye on the Wild game, one eye on the Gopher football game. Did you see that the Jays were in the World Series? And I think it was playing on the
in stadium,
over live play.
McDavid was like, what is this? I don't think, everyone was supporting the Blue Jays in Canada, but I think those players were like, this is a very strange game ops call that you're just running the baseball game live. Yeah, what did he say? It was interesting or something. You could tell he was like...
And distracting.
Yeah, we're a pro sport. Like, we probably shouldn't run on the...
And people paid to come watch the game.
Yeah. You bought a ticket to a hockey game and now you have a giant television with a baseball game on it, but
because there's no audio going, like I didn't see it or watch it live. I don't think there was audio going through the stadium.
No, but the cheering would have been off, right?
Yeah.
So like you could be, you just coughed up a puck in your own end, but Vlad Guerrero, hit a double and everybody's cheering. It had to be weird.
But let's say the Vikings are in a Super Bowl and the Wild have a game at the exact same time, and Grand Casino Arena sold out. Would you want it on? I think I'd want it on as a fan.
I think it's up to the individual. You just got that hip pocket on your phone. You're a hockey team. You got to commit to the bit. You can't throw it on the Jumbotron. Everyone there everyone there has a phone.
Maybe you just do a good job with highlights. Like you wait for the TV timeout and you show the highlights.
That's right. Yeah, or it's in the concourse. Sure. I mean, the Gopher game was on the concourse before the Wild game started, but it gave you. I really, honestly, was like November. Govember.
Hey,
I mean, that was the worst October in Wild history, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I was just like, new month, new day. No one can stop us. I felt good to just have something different.
Which sport parties the hardest after they win?
Like a championship?
Yeah. Like we follow hockey and we see it, like from Ovechkin in the fountain to TJ Oshie beers through his shirt. I mean, you could go down the list. Every year it seems to be one-upped, right?
Well, it's hockey.
To the elbow room. It seems like it's hockey. But did you see the Dodgers partying?
I didn't see what
they're doing like beer slip and slide in the locker room right now with ski goggles on.
But the difference is the NHL party is like a month long. So
are the playoffs. I mean, the playoffs are like, how long is the baseball playoff? It's 1 month?
Yeah, so you gotta.
It's October.
Yeah, it ended in November, maybe the 1st. So yeah, it's like 4 weeks.
Yeah. That's 2 rounds of hockey.
I do like how they've incorporated goggles, and I also like this whole plastic sheath in the room, like you're a serial killer or something. They got everything walled off for maximum champagne spray. Like that whole thing's a good vibe, and the ski goggles kind of popped on the scene like 10 years ago. But no one can compete with hockey because it really, I think, started with the Ovechkin Capitals Cup with Oshie and the fountain and the shirt and all that, like you said. But now it's like, I mean, the Panthers were like running through Dairy Queens and maybe took a trip to the Bahamas. And I mean, it's a fortnight, it's full 2 weeks of shenanigans.
Yeah.
If you win a Stanley Cup.
I got to tip my cap to baseball because they do, I think they do it right. And they do it after every round.
Yeah, they get after it. And they do it when they make the playoffs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of ski goggles.
Yes.
Also, playoff baseball, the only 2 sports that go from checkers to chess in the postseason, baseball and hockey. Playoff hockey is not regular season hockey. Playoff baseball is not regular season baseball. They are works of art. They are to be enjoyed, savored, chew slowly, taste your food. Football's great, but playoff football is a lot like football. Playoff basketball is a lot like basketball. Those 2 sports, man, even if you're not a baseball fan, like that, just watching that whole thing and the drama and the home plate and the ball getting stuck in the wall, it's awesome. Same as hockey. I really think those 2 sports just elevate.
How much did Minnesota sports fans, or how much could they relate? That's Gary Anderson missing the field goal, the ball getting caught under the wall.
It's unbelievable.
And like just terrible things happening at the worst possible time.
And the foot raising up, the catcher's foot.
Yes, and then going back down.
Coming back down.
That was Minnesota. That was like a curse.
Yeah, I mean, Louis Varland's on the Blue Jays, the North St. Paul zone. So, yeah, it's tough.
I wanted to see the Jays win because I think Canada would have brought the hockey party to baseball. And even if not the Jays, I think the town of Toronto would,
Well, there's this whole kind of corridor of losing here with this kind of, I mean, Canada.
Like Great Lakes, you're saying?
There's some darkness. We just had daylight savings time. Like, that's why, man, when we get some good news, I don't know if J.J. McCarthy is Tom Brady, but he was pretty good yesterday. I don't know if the Wild are going to beat Nashville, but they beat Vancouver on Saturday. Take the good where you can, and it would just be transformative for somebody to break the mold and break through here.
You mentioned chewing your food slowly and tasting it. What does Cub have right now that you'd like to chew slowly and taste?
Well, the holidays are approaching, and I don't know if you're hosting or not. My brother's going to be hosting, but I hope he goes over to Cub. All of the Thanksgiving treats are there. I know we got a few weeks before this, but if you're making a green bean casserole, hot dish, you need gravy and lots of gravy. You need the white meat and the dark meat. It's all there. They do have liquor stores, some of them. They do deliver. They're one of us. They're high value. They're Cub. If you're constructing the perfect November for the Wild, who would you trust to get the job done?
I'd trust a couple different people. First, I trust my friends at Aquarius Home Services because you mentioned it's holiday season, so that's hot cocoa, twinkling lights, cold winter taps, and that means it's furnace season. And old man winter, he wants to get in. So Aquarius Home Services has you covered with a furnace tune-up for just $29, so you can keep old man winter outside where he belongs. A cozy, warm house starts with Aquarius. Schedule your $29 furnace tune-up today at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended. And if I was going to go through all the trouble to make sure that my furnace, and even though it's not much trouble with Aquarius Home Services, but if I was going to do it and I'd want my house to be energy efficient, keep that heat inside, I'd call my friends at Wild Construction because they're experts at all things exterior. So whether you have ice dams or you have in the past at your house, that means your insulation is probably faulty and not doing its job. If you're within an area that's had a storm and you think there's damage and things might be leaking in, give them a shout. If you have window problems and there's frost on the bottom and air's getting in, or your siding has issues, Wild Construction, give them a call. They'll send somebody out. Any problem you have, they'll fix it. They'll make sure they make it happen. Wildconstruction.com. That's where you'll find them. What do you think, like a pass to myself? I got the primary assist.
Yeah, you would get an assist, probably.
Like backdoor and primary. So that's pretty solid.
That is good. Hey, when you look at kind of what the Wild need to do, what do you see macro trend? Let's talk power play. Let's talk power play and penalty kill. I've been having like a little soft spot for the second unit of the power play. I don't know why. They only get like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. Sometimes Kirill stays out, but there's something about it that with Faber and Zeev and the double D defensemen, and I feel like there's still some bolts to tighten and some things to figure out on special teams. I want to see what you're seeing.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the second unit, but that first unit is just so darn good that you almost have to keep him out there for 2 minutes.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see when Zuki comes back if he just jumps right on that top unit.
And then Tarasenko would move down.
Yeah, and then what that looks like. And there's only one puck, 5 guys. They all want it, but I think they share it well. Like they all know their job, the assignment. They do it and do it well. And then is Bouillon going to be on the top one? I think that's the power play thing that's changed right now. It's Jared Spurgeon's on the top unit, Zeev Bouillon's off the top unit. And some of that I think is just motivation and I think that there's a mindfulness to bringing Zeev Bouillon along and developing a hunger. This Matthew Schaefer on the island is probably similar, where these guys aren't minor league players and they're not going to go cut their teeth in the American League. They're NHL guys. But I think that you want to make sure that it's not just given to them, that they have to earn it. And that, that means that you've got to be good in all facets of your game. And sometimes the power play is the bonus, and that's the icing on the cake. Like you got to be good everywhere. And so I think that some of Bouillon not being on the top unit is just simply that, and just trying to find a way to generate and create hunger within a player and a young player and have them strive to be good in all areas of the game and get rewarded with it, with ice time. And so I think that that's certainly a part of that. The power play is good. It's going to be good. Where I think it can improve is ramping up its intensity in big spots. And that doesn't make sense because you want to say like, the power play should be good every time they go out. But I think that it could do a better job understanding game script and just bringing a higher level of intensity there. And on the broadcast, we've talked about this a couple of times. The Wild look different when they're trailing by 2 goals. It's like instantly, boom, the switch flips. And they look like the Wild from last year and the team that's going to win a hockey game.
It's like they wake up.
Yeah, they wake up or the urgency's there. If the power play has something similar, it's like when they wake up, boom. And it's not that they're sleeping, but just when they want it, like when the stars align, they're not going to be denied. And I think that they have to do a better job understanding what that looks like in game script and delivering when it matters. The penalty kill, to me, it's the same problem that they've had for a couple of years. What's the identity of it? I don't know. And I don't know that anybody knows. And I think it's to a point where there's so many little things and weaknesses in it that they're everybody's overthinking, and they're trying to do too many things. And on some level, I think the PK would do better if they just threw 4 guys out there and said, run around and ice the puck when you touch it.
Play free.
Just go. There has to be some structure, but for the most part, no structure, just play and play hard. I think it would be performing better than it is right now.
Well, it has to be, right? Where are we at? We're close to the bottom.
I think PK is 50%, maybe 40.
You could try something.
But yeah, it's comical, and it is going to get better. It is going to get better. But yeah, right now it's a problem, and it's a problem more so in the fact that the PK is just bad. It's taking the wind out of the team's sail. They look deflated right after they score a goal. And with that, the problems are compounding. So you give up a PK goal, and now it's like within 2 minutes they give up another one just because they're down and they get away from the game or an intensity for just a couple of minutes. Then they go down 2 and it's like, oh, shoot. We better get going,
Yeah, the second someone gets a penalty, the whole crowd is just like, oh, no.
Here we go. What's amazing is they've done such a good job staying out of the box.
Yeah, they have. Are they the least
penalized team? Now I think time short is different than penalties in minutes, but they're 1 and 2 in those categories.
By the way, is there anybody better at drawing penalties than Ryan Hartman?
Right now?
Just this guy, it's unbelievable. The little... clench the elbow down on the stick.
Kirill's getting good at it too, actually.
Yeah, Kirill does the little hop step.
Well, he drew the one on Crosby.
It's an art. It is so valuable to be able to do that, and it's not embellishment. It's not the full snap the head back like some of these guys you're seeing. It's crafty.
With Hartman, it's crafty.
So crafty.
I think we talked about it on the last podcast. So when Hartman goes down, he winces, but he's got one eye open, looking at the referee, seeing if he's gonna wince a little longer. It's so great. But I'm gonna dig in and look at who's drawn the most power plays.
He has to be up there in the whole league. But, and I'm gonna go around a little bit. I want to do Zeev a little bit more. So you like this kind of. Bring them along slow.
I don't necessarily like it, but in the long run, I like it.
Jordan Love behind Aaron Rodgers.
Think of JJ McCarthy right now. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks this. I think JJ McCarthy has been healthy enough to play a lot of the games that they're saying he's not able to play. He's hurt. I've got no ground to stand on there. It just seems that way. And he seems to be chomping at the bit, but they're bringing him along slowly. I think they understand that, they don't want to burn the guy with interceptions or tough play, win now type of team. So they've protected him. They rolled out Carson Wentz 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, that could barely stand up. He's stitched together, and they didn't want McCarthy to be out there. And now 1 week later, he looks like Superman. I think that they're protecting him a little bit. So I don't think that this is something that's just occurring in hockey. I think in general, when it comes to young guys and potential franchise players, you have to, there's an element of being careful not to wreck them because they could eventually be that important. And I think Zeev falls into that category.
Yeah, I agree. So the Zeev thing's interesting, though. So I think he's like a -10 right now or something. So, and I know that stat's a little bit weird sometimes, but...
but everybody on the team is minus.
Yes.
They're a -12 goal differential for the team.
Yeah.
So the plus-minus is a weird stat. The only thing that matters are the outliers. And he's not an outlier.
Yeah.
There's other guys right in that same realm. And it's not just D, it's forwards, it's everybody. So you can't just look at him and say, he's -10. He's not an outlier. You look at the outliers the other way, the couple guys that are plus players, you look at Bogosian and you'd be like, that's an outlier. He's doing something right.
Yeah. Well, so my thing with Zeev is, and this is more of a Minnesota sports fan take. This guy was drafted because he has the potential to be a different type of defenseman. Okay, 60-point guy, 80-point guy. This is a different. This is in that. I'm not calling him Quinn Hughes today, but he's in that kind of new breed, Lane Hudson, Quinn Hughes. PP1, walk the line, shimmy shake.
He's in that tier.
And what
he's in that talent tier. He's not in that player tier yet. He's in that talent tier.
I want him to play the hell out of this kid.
Well, that's an argument.
And make it happen faster because it's funny when we saw Zeev at the State Fair, I remember saying, I hope you make us more like you. And I'm talking about Minnesota overall versus Minnesota making you more like us. Because I don't want this kid second guessing himself. I don't want him to have those, almost like you were talking about with the penalty kill. I don't want him having this narrative in his head of all that, I can't do that. I can't do that. They hate it when I trip at the line. And I do not want to damage him. He's been a winner at every level. I would just run the hell out of this.
Well, that's the argument. So you look at Lane Hudson.
I would play the
Lane
shit
Hudson
out of
won the
Zeev.
Calder last year, and he might have been minus 20 at Christmas.
And Montreal's on fire now. They got all these youngsters.
And it worked for him, but you have to be careful. Not everybody's the same. But
I know, and I don't
I get
know-
your point, but they rolled him out, and they're like, yes, we'll go. The offensive upside is worth it. We'll go. And he ate minuses, and the guy eventually has started to figure out, and defensively, he's improved, like he's learned.
My gut on Zeev, and there's a small sample size, is even when he makes a bonehead play, he's going to do something special in the same game. I still think you're a net sum even. I don't know. I would play the hell out of the kid. That's just a different, because it's very un-Minnesotan too, right? Like, we've been waiting for youth. We've been waiting for change. We have good defensemen. Spurgeon's a good defenseman. Jake, Brock, but Zeev's meant to be special and different. Let's race to get there. So that's just a different take on that. I just think let the kid play. He's going to make some mistakes. We should be a good enough team to deal with that. Plus, he might get his mistakes back.
All right, so should we go through Lane Hudson's game logs early on?
I bet it's amazing.
Well, so he was +3 through the first 3 games. Then he goes -4 in one game, -2.
This is last year?
Yeah.
Awesome.
-4, +2, -2, +1, -1, -1, -2, 0, +1, -2, -3, -1, +3, +2, -3, -1, -2, -2, a couple of evens mixed in there. And then towards the end of the year, all of a sudden it starts to look a little bit better. He does have one monster game where he was -5, but it looks a little better. And then at the end, he finished -2.
I would.
Like he battled
to
back.
me, that's the best argument to just let this guy
66 points, -2.
let water find its level. We know what Zeev's upside is. Let him play. Let him get there as fast as he can. I just am not interested in this whole I don't want him having the yips. I don't want Zeev turning into a Minnesota product where he's thinking of the 6 things he can do wrong on PP1 because he got taken off of it and then put back on it and then taken off of it. Let the boy run.
There's 2 massive differences though. Zeev Williams, a first-round pick, which shouldn't matter, but it does. Lane Hudson was second rounder, 62 overall, so a little less pressure. Like if he works out, that's great. Like you're super stoked.
Both college studs, though.
Yeah.
Very high profile,
Yep.
NCAA tournament, that whole deal.
And Hudson's a little older now, 21. Zeev's still young. What's he,
19?
2 years matters.
Yeah, it does.
It matters. So I don't mind caution. I really don't for the long term. And things aren't going well. So I see both. I see both. And now we understand what the value in player development. Like the guys that make these decisions, and when it pans out, good for them.
I did want to throw a bone to Marco Rossi too. It's so interesting when the contract wasn't done, and I found it so interesting how much the fan base really loved this kid, right? Like he does everything he's supposed to do. He gets better every year. He's a hard worker. He seems like a very good, kind guy. This guy's so consistent and just he's trending for a point a game season. All of a sudden he's got 80 points instead of 60 points. I mean, he's a luxury. Really, we have some streaky players. I think Matt Boldy can be a streaky player. He can be white hot Bunsen burner, careful, and then he can go kind of quiet. Marco Rossi just chips away brick by brick by brick, and I think it's an absolute
He never flashes.
It's a luxury. But he's always he scores, put him with good players.
Yeah.
He can hang.
Yeah. He doesn't flash, but then at the end of the day, you look at the score sheet, and he's got 1-1.
Plays every game. Seems to get a point most games. I don't know. I think he may not be the guy on every marquee or every advertisement, but he is a key piece to making this thing go.
Yeah, I agree. Two more things I want to talk about. One, faceoffs. Hines, after the Pittsburgh game, you could make a montage of it, how many times he just referenced faceoffs, 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 faceoffs.
I'm telling you, we need a cheater code.
Yeah, but I think it, I don't know if it was strategic, but on some levels, I think it was. Like, on a face-off, like you've got to be prepared to play, and you've got to be ready when the puck drops. And mentally, you have to be prepared. Physically, you have to be prepared. And then it comes down to like battle, wanting it more. And there's some strategy and skill to it. There certainly is. And I think he found an area of the game that he could just totally call out and just get everybody's attention. Like, look at this is the number one. This is our problem right now. Is we're just not paying attention to detail consistently enough to be good. Like, guys that are good at it beat us. Sidney Crosby wins a faceoff on a power play late, and boom, the puck ends up in the back of the net. Like
Ovechkin.
Yeah. Like, the guys are scoring on these faceoffs. So there was an attention to detail on faceoffs in the Vancouver games. There was a response, and Rossi's line gets one on a faceoff, which was, I think, very important. And the Wild we've been searching for your 52, 53%, 54% guy, the guy where you can roll out and say, like, yes, he might not win this one, but he's not losing this one. He's going to give the Wings a chance, And I think Sturm being out of the lineup has had a bigger impact to the start to the season than anybody probably would have anticipated on faceoffs alone, on the PK.
We literally got a guy because he was good at faceoffs, and he hasn't played.
Right.
So that sucks. So you're saying you've said this several times in the pod, and it's intriguing to me. It's the whole unit that wins a faceoff.
Yes.
It's the wings tying up. It's all of that stuff. And you think Hines was able to say, here's an example of where your effort is not where it needs to be.
And we're not connected enough as five.
Yeah, it's not just this guy that's at 48%.
Right.
It's all of you have to do your job, and if you do, we can get that number inching higher.
Let me try to illustrate how I think about a face-off and why it's important. Okay, so let's consider there's three circles on a face-off. You've got the red dot or the blue dot that the referees drop the puck in. That's the first circle, and it's the center's job to try to win that one. And then you draw a circle inside the circle. Now that's the wing's job. If the puck is now inside that area, that's the wing's job to help out, or the D, depending on where it is. And then you've got the third circle. Once the puck gets outside that, you've got a job to do, right? And you have to know and do all of those things. And when Hines talks about it being the whole unit, it's like the circle inside the circle. Like that, you got to win that. If you can win 60% of those pucks that are inside there, where the centerman does some of his job, where it goes straight sideways or it's bouncing around, and you win more of those, that's the winger's job. And the center, and this is where it falls on the center. It's the center's responsibility to tell everybody and make sure everybody knows, like, hey, I'm struggling with this guy on this side. Be ready. Hey, right winger, be ready to jump, because if I lose this, it's going to be soft right here. And give him a heads up. You know what's going on. You know who you're going against. You know how your night's gone. Let them know. A little communication goes a long way. But I think Hines is right. The whole unit can be better there. And when the whole unit clicks, it starts to help. And I think that's just, as Hines likes this word, indicative of the rest of their game. So there's that. Last thing before we get to Hinostroza, players-only meeting. It seems to have worked. Spurgeon communicating with coaches and team to get everybody together, like
texting the coach at night, something like that.
We've heard closed door meetings in the past, and those usually happen, and those are never positive, No. Like, and I bet the way I look at those is you have like one or two a year that might have a meaningful impact, like a cards in your deck. Let's say that's a trump card. You don't have an unlimited amount of trump cards. So if you're using that right now, it better work, or it's important that it's effective.
It's the boy who called wolf. Like, you cannot do that. You can only kick the garbage can so many times.
Exactly. Before the garbage can is...
Where they're like, oh, he's kicking the garbage can again. He's the garbage can kicking guy.
Right.
Yeah, no.
It worked. I think it worked. So Spurgeon, he knew, communicated it, and I think we're at a moment in the season where leadership needed to show up, because I do think that the team was struggling to find like an identity that was working for them.
When was that meeting? Was that on Friday day or Sunday day, or when did they do it?
I don't know. I don't know when it occurred.
Yeah, because I knew Billy called the captains. I
Yeah.
saw the closed door meeting. I saw the Spurgeon texting Hines, all of which are not really good signs that things are going great.
Yeah, those are cards that are leaving the deck.
Yeah, those are.
Like you'd like to keep them in your
Like if
pocket.
we're having a
Leave them
closed
in the deck.
door, if we're having a closed door meeting about the podcast, it's pretty serious. I
Yeah,
think.
but it seems to have worked, and what's encouraging is there looked like an identifiable hockey from the Wild, and I think that's what the closed door meeting was in search of. Like, we know what we are now. We just have to continue to do it. And it got away from him for a bit, but kudos to Spurgeon, because he doesn't get credit for being like front row center, rah captain kind of, Jonathan Taves, but he's doing it. And it might be behind the scenes, but when he speaks, people listen, and they came out, they played a better game. Now, if consistency shows up, boy, that closed door meeting is going to be important. Or it's going to be one that I think we're going to have to reference at some point.
And his job isn't necessarily to figure it all out, but he's to get all those guys in the room talking. Hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
How do we fix this? How are you feeling? I think whatever they said in that room has been key for sure.
So let's get to Hinostroza, but one last thing before we do. Let's get our, because I love this bit, let's get our trivia going. I'd like to see John squirm again with every question you ask, Huss.
Yeah, hopefully this is. Can we do Cal?
I need a whiteboard behind me over here so we can keep the score on it, just so that John knows every time he walks in here what the score is.
I mean, you could be by the end.
We usually have this in the locker room where it's like the standings, so every day you walk in. This is how it was
by the end of the season,
in the playoffs or all the playoffs, and it was just like,
this could be like 50-3 by the end of the year. But let's try it. Maybe I get lucky here.
Yeah, you're better than you think.
One thing I will let you know is I've been trying to cheat at this. So I get here earlier than you, and these guys are talking about the trivia, and
King just sits silent.
And I literally am listening, and then I'll hear him. I'll get like one piece of information, like he was on Edmonton. I thought he was on Edmonton before the Wild, and I'm on my phone looking and to try to figure out if I can get an edge. So I am already cheating. I don't have anything for today, but if I get an opportunity, if I could get into, their hard drive and see, I would completely cheat. Just so you know. All right, let's go.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right, this player was fluent in 4 languages. Russian and French are 2 of them. This player was considered a national hero. In 2002, 2003, wore the A.
I think this is the one I tried to cheat on, maybe. I will guess. I don't even know if this is close to right. I don't even know if this guy, I don't know. Zoltak? Yeah. I heard them talking about this. I did. And I don't care. It's like Ryan Hartman. Vinny's on the show today. Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Because they reference Edmonton. I think he played for Edmonton. Yes! I literally cheated and won that one. I don't feel bad. I don't.
Producers, be better.
Hey, you gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet.
Can you guys just do some work before? Okay, just prep for the show.
I am so happy right now. This is like in beer league when you know the other guy's name on the other team and you yell and he passes the puck to you by accident. Borderline move. Not proud of it, but hey, if it gets the job done, it does. I'm back, boys. It's Govember.
I'm just glad you didn't last week after.
It was written down on my page last week. I wrote Zoltak in the corner. I think that's who they're talking about. Oh yes, they kept it in. All right,
Vinnie Hinostroza.
Bye. All right, this interview, like all of our player interviews, sponsored by Duke Cannon. They even have the body wash in the Wild locker room. If you want to have your hair be a weapon, if you want to smell good with their cologne, earn your clean with Duke Cannon. Available at Target, online, any place you get your grooming products. Hey, I'm so excited about today's guest. I wanted this guy last year too. He gives me Dino Ciccarelli feels sometimes. He had a big goal the other night on a breakaway. Number 18 in your program, number 1 in your heart, Vincent Enrique Hinostroza. Pretty good intro, yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, is Enrique a grandfather's name?
Enrique is my dad's name and
Okay.
his dad's name. So
From Ecuador?
Ecuador, yep.
Yeah, interesting. You ever been?
I've never been. He ended up marrying a white lady, my mother, and they never ended up teaching us Spanish. He was got Americanized as a young kid. He was kind of embarrassed to speak in Spanish, so he never really got to teaching us.
And has your family's all from Chicago now?
Yeah.
And that's where your grandfather moved to and everything else?
Yes.
Or? Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's where I want to start. I got to know about. I want to know about the Chicago Mission. I want to know about young Hartman, Nick Schmaltz. Like, I picture you guys with like cigarettes rolled up in your sleeve, like the greasers, like running the town.
What side of the tracks were you
Yeah,
guys
like
on?
you guys
Yeah.
were. I mean, we know all the hijinks Hartsey likes to play. So like, take us back to the prequel. What was this like growing up playing hockey in Chicago? Are the personalities all the same now as they were then?
Yeah, it's I don't even know where to start with Hartsey, but my first memory of him is probably I was on the Chicago Blues, a AA team. He was on the Crystal Lake Leafs, and we were probably 8 years old. Played each other in the state championship. He ended up winning, and then
Slew-footed you
probably.
after he scored on the way to the
Yeah,
bench?
and then we both went to the Mission shortly after that, and I think we won 8 or 9, whatever it was, state championships in a row. We never won nationals, but we had a great group of guys that was give or take 1 or 2 guys a year. It was the same group every year, and we never got to win nationals. We won all the states, but we got really close. Hartsey.
That's a lot of travel then together, right? Like you're going
yeah.
all over.
Yeah, and my dad was pretty strict because we would get kicked out of hotels all the time.
By we, you mean you and Ryan, or
Like
or
the whole
Chicago
team, because
Mission?
some guys that weren't being watched all the time would go wreak
Baby
havoc
roofs
in the
in the
hotel,
pool.
and we'd have to move hotels sometimes. So we got to the room, and I usually had to stay in there, which was probably good looking back.
What were you getting kicked out of hotels for? You like breaking the crane game, or like playing mini sticks in the hallway, or
Baby
the elevator?
roof.
Maybe an elevator down.
Baby
what would
roof
be
in there?
significant? Yeah, baby.
I'm trying to think. I can remember one of them. Just the pools closed after a game. I believe I remember like the manager. She was a woman, and she was just crying, trying to get these guys, and like, we're not leaving the pool. They're going down the slide, running from her, like just wreaking havoc. It was
Mini
just
sticks in
insane.
the hallway.
Oh, mini
And then you
sticks
just
in the
switch
hallways.
floors.
Yeah, run up to like the 10th floor. Guys would call with the phone by the elevator and say like, "Come up here. There's kids messing around." Then they'd go to floor 7, do the same thing, and it was crazy. And then we'd always play really well, but now when you see all those guys that were insane and having a lot of fun, now they all have kids, and we're all kind of getting it shoved back in our face now.
The kids are paying it forward.
Yeah, for
Getting
sure.
it back. That's so great. How'd you get started in hockey?
My older cousin played. My dad started playing men's league with my mom's brothers, and then my 2 older cousins played, and I just wanted to be just like them. So started skating when I was 3, and then joined a team at 4, and then just went from there. I just loved it.
Joined a team at 4. That's we should hang on that for a minute. What team is at 4 years old? Baby Mission.
No, I was like the Barrington Hockey Club or something
Perfect.
like that. It was I was the falling on the off the bench, jumping on for my first shift. My parents were fighting. I was too young to be on my first team playing. My mom said, "No shot, he's ready." And my dad's like, I mean, if I see my son now, he's crazy. He's got so much energy. So I'm sure they had to throw me in something and just let me go. So
To wear you out.
yeah.
Should we do rapid fire with him
Yeah.
just to get him? We can.
I got a couple more Chicago questions, but let's do rapid fire.
Yeah, we got to go deep on Chicago. So this is just quick answers. Karts and I will go back and forth. If you don't know, just say pass. The only people that are slow at this are goalies.
Okay.
You're a high
And
pace guy.
Tarasenko.
And Tarasenko goes deep. He's deep as a river. But we've seen how you play. You move. So, all right, nickname.
Pet peeve.
Loud yawns.
Oh my God,
I like that.
What do you listen to in the car?
Morgan Wallen.
Not Lil Baby.
I mean, I go through stages right now. It's like the kids love Morgan Wallen, so That's kind of all we listen to, but I don't think Lil Baby's appropriate for them, but I do like my rap.
First job.
It was at Alexian Brothers Hospital. My aunt got me a job just inputting stuff in a computer.
If you could have a green light in any NHL city, where are you going?
Chicago.
What was your first car?
A Jeep when I was 21. Signed my first contract.
Bought a Jeep?
Yeah.
I like that.
Pre-game meal.
Chicken, pasta, salad.
You still on your parents' Netflix account, or you have your own now?
I have my own.
Your go-to drink at the bar.
A Guinness.
You got any weird food combos, like ketchup on the eggs?
No, I'm American, so I'm pretty normal, but seeing some of the Europeans put ketchup on their pasta and stuff like that is, it's weird.
Perfect weekend. What are you doing?
Sunday off, watching football. Fall weather, it's kind of chilly. Wearing something comfy and watching football, going on a nice walk.
You have any post-game rituals?
Post-game rituals? I don't think so. No, I feel like nowadays we get out of the game so late. It's like get home and one of the kids might be waking up, help my wife put him back to sleep, and then, I mean, we can't fall asleep forever, so throw on a show or something.
Hidden talent.
I don't think I have one.
Who plays you in the movie?
Like a actor?
Yeah.
Who would it be? The guy from Why Him? I can't think of his name, but
All right.
What was the first concert you went to?
Drake.
Last thing you binge watched, a show, movie, something you went deep on?
Terminal List, Dark Wolf.
With Riggins. Gift card from any store.
That's a hard one. Best Buy, maybe?
And who do you text the most? That's a good one. Carter usually does this one.
yeah.
So besides your wife or whatever, your kids, like who are you texting the most?
I got one buddy from home. We talk pretty much every day. He goes back to that mission team. My good buddy Matty. So he's got a family now, so we're always keeping in touch.
You guys got a fancy football league together and stuff too?
He's so bad at that stuff, so he's not in any of those. But I got a pretty serious one with my buddies back home.
How's it going this year?
It's good. I'm in first place. The last place guy has to get the winner's name tattooed somewhere on him.
No way.
Yeah, it's insane. It's my buddies from high school. So
That's aggressive.
Wait, so the loser has to get the first place person's name tattooed on them?
yeah, somewhere on their body.
Oh, dude.
Is Artsy in this?
No, he's not in that one.
Okay.
So I won last year, so I'm tattooed Hino Papa on somebody's ankle.
Yikes. Are you a Bears fan then, growing up in Chicago? Like, did you watch this crazy Bengal game and you're all about Chicago Bears or no?
I used to love the Bears, and now it's kind of like,
The Bears?
yeah. It's been tough. I mean, I remember 2005, Devin Hester ran back the first opening kickoff in the Super Bowl, and we're like, holy shit, we're going to win the Super Bowl. And then it's been kind of a nightmare ever since, but I'm kind of getting back on the wagon. They're building a new field closer to the suburbs. That's going to be amazing, and I think it's going to be cool for like families and nice epicenter for people to go to. So I think it'll be good to get back into.
I did some research. What do you think of what is it, DeAndre Swift maybe? Because you were a halfback back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Did you play for the Bloomingdale Bears? The Bloomingdale Bears, and you were a halfback, and you had a pretty good lead blocker, to my understanding, right?
Yeah, Hartsy, if we needed just a few yards, he was my fullback.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our,
so Hartsy was a fullback, and you're the halfback. Just a little more speed than Ryan, or what?
Yeah, just a little bit. No, at that time, I think I had a lot more. I was pretty quick, but our quarterback was on our hockey team as well, and we all played defense. Hartsy was a kicker, punter. He used to pick out a guy, me and Jimmy, the quarterback. We'd go up to Hartsy and be like, all right, kick to this guy. It'd be like an unathletic guy, like not all the way back on the kickoff, and Hartsy's going to be like, I'm going to kick to that guy. It'd just be a floater like this. And me and the other kid would just go and just time it perfectly and just kill him. But we played on like the B team because we missed so much because of hockey. So it was like we probably could have played on the A team. So we just had, that was some of the most fun times I've had is playing football with those guys.
So my vision when I go back to you guys being like little kids in Chicago, like your personalities are exactly the same. Was Hartsy crafty back then? Is he like Is he holding the guy's stick and falling down when you were playing like youth hockey? Did he know how to do all these things, these special heartsy things, or is that something he gained over time?
No, I think he was born like that. He's always been sneaky. It's not just on the ice; it's off the ice too. Little jokes and little ways that get in that guy. So I think he's always played with an edge, and obviously that's part of his game and something that makes him so special. So obviously it's evolutionized into something probably a little more controlled than full all-around game. But yeah, he's. I feel like we're all pretty much the same guys we were as kids.
Yeah, I picture you like brothers. Like it's like when you first came on the scene, I was like, this is like Hartman's brother. Like, where did this guy? And then the background checked out. I'm like, man, that's like they're brothers from another mother.
The best too is that, I mean, who knows? But maybe you don't end up here if he doesn't get suspended, right? Because the Wild were down a forward, Hartsey, because you suspended. They need somebody, and then you got claimed right at that same time, right? Like, it's funny how it works like that. And I don't know if he had like a text or something, or you had to buy him dinner for that. It's like, because I think that was a pretty expensive suspension for him. But yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was it all kind of lined up where a few guys were hurt, and then Hartsey got suspended, and I think they had 11 forwards at the time, and I went on waivers, and they picked me up, and they gave me a great opportunity here, and I love it here. But I think Hartsey taking that suspension, probably a big part of why I'm here, and it is crazy how it works out.
Watching you play though, like there's a hunger to your game. Is some of that like, and you've been around 10 years, 400 and some and change games, like, but there seems to be a hunger to your game right now. Maybe something to prove too, and I don't know, this is the last year of the deal, but the Wild give you an opportunity, and you seem to be making the most of it. Yeah,
I just think throughout your career, you're gonna have so many up and downs. Like I just think back at some of my best years. You're just having fun playing, and I think the last few years, it's whether it's not getting opportunities or waiting for opportunities, or being put in positions where you go in a game and you play 4 minutes, and how much can you do then? And I came here, and immediately I think they put me in spots that I could use my strengths, and really made me feel trusted and part of the team right away. I feel like this team is one of the closest teams I've ever been in. I mean, I saw that at Hartsey's wedding. I'm like, all right, these guys are kind of weird, all dancing with their shirts off on the dance floor. They're either the closest team I've ever seen, or something weird's going on. And obviously, coming here last year, walking in the locker room, you could see how tight it is. And, that just makes, for a guy like me walking in, you're able to just be yourself and focus. Because, I mean, sometimes when you get called up, when you know what you can do, but these guys, you don't know if they're looking at you like, what's this guy doing here and stuff. But, they made me feel welcome and comfortable. And I think that's a big part of just being able to compete and play to your strengths.
So after the mission, you and Hartman are tight, not that you guys were ever just going to be on the exact same path, but he goes and plays like major, junior or something. You college, why was college a route for you?
Yeah, so we went to 40 camp, the U.S. development. He made the team. I didn't. I went to Waterloo, Iowa, played in the USHL. And then I went to Notre Dame. He went to Plymouth. We played World Juniors together when I was at Notre Dame, and he was in Plymouth, so that was cool. We got to play together again. Both got drafted by the Hawks. I went to school for 2 years. He was in Rockford. I went my first year there in Rockford, and we played together. That was super cool. And then we kind of made the step to the NHL together, lived together at home, on the road. Kind of went our separate ways. He went to Nashville. I went to Arizona, and, that was kind of it. Obviously, in the summers, we skate together, work out, hang out. But we never thought, why would we play on the same team again one day? And, looking back now, it's insane. Like 10, 11 years go past, and now we got our own kids, and we're able to play together and enjoy our families, and it's really come full circle, and it's definitely thankful for that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, how was Notre Dame?
It was really hard. School was tough. You hear about some of these guys that go to, I'm not going to name them, but some other schools, and they're taking walking classes, bowling classes, and Notre Dame was tough. I think you didn't get any leeway from the teachers. Sometimes they probably viewed you as someone that may not be going to the school if you didn't play a sport. So they didn't make anything easier for you, which was great for me. But it was definitely hard. A lot of time management. I'm thankful I went there. because when I turned pro, I was able to, manage my time and really know what I needed to focus on a day-by-day routine.
How were the football games there? Like how was life on campus at Notre Dame? Like, it just seems like it'd be awesome there.
On campus was fun, but the football games were incredible. We would, so the seniors lived off campus. We had to live on campus till our senior year. So we were in dorms, but every Saturday in the preseason, so before our season started, we'd have the hardest workout ever at like 5 a.m. on Saturday. The last workout, you're outside on the side of the hockey stadium doing wall sits, passing 45-pound plates down the whole line of the whole team. And everyone's walking a tailgate, and you're singing the alma mater and the songs, and all the fans are going crazy. And then you run in the showers, get dressed, and go out to the parking lot where somebody had like a truck with a tarp with a bunch of beers filled up. And the tailgating was incredible. We got to sit behind the end zone for 1 year, and then I think a guy fell on the field, so they had to move us back. But the tailgating was amazing, and that campus just it feels so special every time you're on it.
I was going to ask you, you had 76 points in 2 years in college, which is very high output. You had 39 and 72 on the Yotes a few years back. Obviously, your minutes change, right? As a forward in your position, sometimes you said you might be playing 4, sometimes you might be playing a lot more. What is Vinnie Hinostroza at his peak? Like, when you feel the best as a hockey player, how would you describe your game? What are you contributing and chipping in?
Yeah, I think right now I really like where my game's at. I think, really fast, playing fast, getting pucks behind the D, not trying to force plays. If a play comes, you make it, but just being reliable defensively, getting the puck through the neutral zone fast, and then playing the offensive zone. I think, just trying to do whatever the team needs you to do. I think as I've gotten older, you realize one game you might do this, the next game you might do this, and you can't take a shot every time you get the puck. You got to play simple, and I've just been trying to do that.
Walk us through your goal the other night, too, because he's fast to the neutral zone. You just kind of gained some speed and catch Tyler Myers flat-footed, and that's a scary guy to have step up on you a little bit right there, but he made it look easy.
Yeah, I don't know if he was tired or what, but Broads had a big block, and I was kind of just in the slot and got it, and I saw their forward kind of didn't have much speed, so I tried to go wide on him, and I think Myers might have thought he was going to angle me better, and saw ice in the middle. It's something we've worked on, is taking the ice in the middle, and just kind of opened up for me, and then Trenny was flying down the backside to hold that D there, and I was just able to get to the slot and shoot it.
Yeah, and it was the beginning of the end of that glove for Thatcher Demko, because then I think Brodin got one shortly after, and then Demko's like, hey, time for a new glove, because he caught a piece of it with the glove and it goes in. But
yeah,
see you later, that glove. But I also want to talk about your first NHL goal. So with Chicago, you break through. I'm curious what that's like, too, but we'll get to that in a minute. But you score on Markstrom, and then you have like a 3-point game, monster game. You guys are down 3. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I remember took me forever to score. It was like almost 20 games in maybe, and I'm just gripping my stick, and we're playing in Vancouver. I know Richard Panik got an assist on it. I think Hartsey might have too. We were line mates. But just kind of went wide and shot it, got my own rebound and buried it, and that's a feeling you're never going to forget. Like, you always say how you're going to celly on your first goal, but then when it happens, you're like, what did I just do for a celly? Like, I kind of blacked out. But yeah, that was a special one, and obviously playing in Vancouver, it's an awesome place, and we ended up winning that game in overtime, I remember. So
yeah, Hossa scores or something.
Hossa scored in overtime, yeah, I remember. It cut to the middle, shot it from like the top of the circles, and just right past the goalie.
Yeah, and then eventually you guys got traded together. He wasn't playing, though, when you guys were traded, right?
It was like me, Jordan Osterley, and Hossa's contract to Arizona.
Yeah.
You guys had the big win on Saturday night, and then the Halloween party. The NHL sort of wrapped its heart around Halloween as a holiday. Who did you have? Who's on the podium? Top 3 costumes from the Halloween party, in your opinion? Who were the winners? Best in show?
There was a lot of good ones. It was funny to see probably 2 of our toughest guys in Midzi and Bogo wearing makeup because they were Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. So they had like the dark eyeshadow and some makeup on, and they did a really good job. Midzi's wife, made her own costume. She was like that octopus Davy Jones, the bad guy from the movie. So those were some cool ones.
Yeah, good. And what were you?
I was just Alfredo Linguini from Ratatouille. My wife was the mouse.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw that. I want to talk to you're a vet. You're a pro. You've seen ups. You've seen downs. What's the mood of the nation? Great win Saturday. Team Hines seems to have done a good job of kind of like let's just relax. But like, how would you explain the mood of the nation in the room? You had the closed door meeting and all that. But like, how's it feeling right now for the group?
I think it feels really good, especially to get that win. 2 days off without a game is rare, and then we got Nashville tomorrow, so obviously we just got to keep it rolling. I think even when we're going through the bad times, it was never like, what's going on here? This is devastating. You go through it on other teams, and sometimes it's like, I got to go to the rink today, like it's going to be miserable. Like, I don't think guys were ever feeling that. We know how special our team is. From when I came here, you see how tight it is, and there's so many great pieces in that room, whether it's a highly skilled guy or a penalty killer. Like, we really have it all in this locker room, and we just have to put it together and play a full 60. And I think we got pretty close to doing that the other night. There's still some stuff to fix, but just taking steps in the right direction. I think, like I said, every team you're on goes through this, and this just happened to be right at the beginning of the season. We're not out of it, but we could easily turn it around.
I like that thought. And I mean, you broke in with Chicago in Chicago's heyday with Kane and Taves and Seabrook and Keith and the whole crew, right? And are there some similarities to the locker room now? Like, you got stars and guys, and those teams went through struggles at the same time too, right? Like, similarities to those guys and those teams to what's downstairs? Yeah,
I'd say it's very similar. I think when you look around, you got some of the most skilled guys in the world in the locker room, and then you got great vets that have won before. That's kind of how it was there. I think the only thing that's different is we were scared to talk for like 2-3 years, and now it's the rookies have their own voice right away, and it's cool to see. But obviously, it was an intense locker room to walk into and a little bit overwhelming, especially being from Chicago. But yeah, that was a great team, and I think very, very comparable to what we have.
Hey, Chicago always plays on the big stage too. Like, they get the Winter Classic, Stadium Series games. I think you played. Did you play in the Stadium Series game here?
Yeah, I played at the one at the University of Minnesota.
Yeah, the TCF.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how was that?
I think we got smoked like 8-1.
Yeah, I played in that one. That was
just wasn't it like 8-1 or something?
It was like 7-2 or 7-3.
That was sweet.
But there's something about playing in those big games and having those big moments that helps translate into meaningful like games and playoff runs later. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. But I also played an outdoor game in Buffalo, and we weren't even close. So I think it's just battling through these times, that when the times aren't good, it's being able to get through this stuff that more so helps you along the stretch. And obviously those games are special and super fun, but I think it's just better for the game overall to see those games. But yeah, I think just getting through these times together are what makes a team stronger.
You've played on a bunch of different teams in different places. What do you make of Minnesota so far? I've always thought Chicago and Minnesota had a similar vibe myself growing up here, but I'm curious what's been your take with your young family being in Minnesota. How do you like it?
I love it. We love it. I think everywhere you look, there's a lake. My son's really getting into fishing right now, so through training camp and the start of the season, before it was getting a little chilly, we were fishing a few times a week just at that Lake Harriet there. And I mean, we go fishing at home, and it's like you catch a couple bluegill, and it's fine. But here, there's some big fish, and like they're biting pretty good, and a lot of parks. You see all the outdoor rinks going up, so I'm excited for that. It seems like every park has one. So, yeah, my family loves it. So it's been a great place.
You ever ice fish before?
Never.
You gonna try it this winter?
Hartzy was telling me stories about him, Bogo, and going out and doing it. So I would love to try it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's different than open water.
If you have one of those like huts, right?
Like a shack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a shack or something. Yeah, it's way better.
Yeah.
But you can go pop around holes on the lake with open air too. But yeah, no.
Yeah,
if you're in a shack, that's the way to do
that.
it. Yeah.
That'd be a great ice house. You, Bogo, and Hartzy listening to some NFL. Because isn't ice fishing you're just drinking? but you have a hole.
Yes.
You're monitoring occasionally.
In a tiny house.
Yeah, which is a great way. It's like I'm going to be in this box with some buddies
For
drinking.
like 3 hours and we might catch a fish.
We may not even know if we caught a fish until we look. But yeah, that would be an all-star crew for sure. I'm good unless you have anything else.
No, I'm good, man. No, appreciate your time. And it's fun to watch you play, watch you compete. And good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Have a great finish to the season.
Thank you.